What's up, YouTube? I'm here doing my prediction video for UFC Fight Night. Santos versus Walker. Let's start at the bottom. The first fight is Alejandro Perez versus Johnny Eduardo. To me, these guys are both decent strikers. They both have okay ground games. I just think that Alejandro Perez is much younger. He's like at least 10 years younger. I think Johnny is like 40 and he's 30, and I think that's just the biggest thing. They've both been out for a while, but I'm just leaning towards the younger man at this point. I feel like if anyone's going to recover and just get better over time, it's going to be the younger guy, so I'm going to lean towards Perez to win by decision. Next is Shawnee Young versus Safina. I can't say your last name, or Stephanie. I think Shawnee Young is just a little bit better. There's not too much to say about this fight. I think they're both primarily grapplers, and I think Young is just a little bit better, so I think she's going to win by decision. Next is Douglas Silva, D'Andrade versus Ganetto. I can't say his last name either, but I think this is going to be a fun striking fight. I think it's going to be back and forth, but I think Douglas Silva is just a little bit better. I think that he throws more volume and he just hits a bit harder, and because of that, I think Douglas Silva is just going to win a decision, maybe get a late TKO. Next, we got Jamie Mullarkey versus Devontae Smith, and this is a fight between two really good strikers. I think Devontae is a much more athletic guy. He's a little bit faster. I think he hits a tiny bit harder. I think Mullarkey has better volume and better overall technique, but it's really close. I also think if this fight goes to the ground, Mullarkey definitely has the advantage. I don't think it'll go there, but I'm just saying if it does. I'm leaning ever so slightly towards Mullarkey. I just think we've seen Devontae get outstruck by more technical strikers before, and I think that's what's going to happen in this fight. I think that even though he's a little bit faster and hits a little bit harder, I think Mullarkey's just better technique is going to edge out, and I think he's going to eventually catch Devontae and knock him out. Next is Bethe Correia versus Karol Rosa, and Bethe Correia missed weight by kind of a lot. I think it was like 4 pounds. She's basically been talking about retiring for forever. I think she just wants to do her last fight in her contract and just go away. And I feel like at this point, I have no idea how seriously she's taking this. I think Karol Rosa, she's 3-0 in the UFC. I think her record's like 14-2 overall. I think she's a very solid up-and-comer at 135, and I think she's just going to outpoint Correia for 3 rounds. So I'm going to pick Karol Rosa to win by decision. Next is Antonia Shevchenko versus Casey O'Neill, and if this was like a year ago, I would have picked Casey O'Neill all day, and I think a lot of people are, but I think Shevchenko's really improved her ground game, and because of that, I think she's going to win. I think Shevchenko's the better striker, and at this point, I'm not sure if she's the better grappler, but I think she might be. And because of that, I'm leaning towards Shevchenko to win by either decision or a late finish. Next is Joe Solecki versus Jared Gordon, and I just think Joe Solecki is the much stronger wrestler. I think Jared has decent striking, but he's not like this great striker. And he has good jiu-jitsu, but I think Joe's just too strong of a wrestler. I think he'll continuously get this fight to the ground and just win a dominant 30-27 decision. Next, we got Alexander Hernandez versus Mike Bearden. I think that both these guys are kind of like boxer wrestlers. I just think Hernandez is better at both. I think he's a little bit more faster with his punches, and I think he's just the stronger grappler overall. And because of that, I think Hernandez is just going to slowly beat up Mike and eventually finish him. And Mike took this fight on really short notice. He missed weight, but I don't feel like that's his fault. He took this fight in I think a week or two's notice, so that's more about the late notice of the fight than anything. But I also think that hinders him because I think he would have been a big underdog no matter what, and the fact that he's taking this fight on such short notice also hurts him. So I'm going to pick Hernandez to win by late finish, like submission or TKO from ground and pound. Next we got Misha Cirkunov versus Krzysztof Jotko, and this fight depends entirely on how the weight cut went, because I feel like if the weight cut went well, Cirkunov should win this fight all day. I think he's a lot better than Jotko overall. But I have this weird feeling it's not going to be as good as he thinks it is. I think Jotko's still a big guy. And if Cirkunov had a hard time cutting weight at all, I think he's going to have a hard time taking Jotko down. And if this is just a straight kickboxing fight, I think Jotko wins all day. I think he's much longer and much more technical. Cirkunov's got good power and good speed, but he's not the most technical striker. And because of that, I think Jotko's just going to set the takedowns, keep it on the feet, and eventually win by TKO. Next is Alex Oliveira versus Nico Price, and I think this fight's just going to be a crazy back-and-forth fight until one guy catches the other one and finishes it. It's really just who you think is going to catch who. I don't think either of these guys are going to fight the smartest fight in this fight. I think they're just going to go after each other, and one guy's going to knock the other one out in the first round, maybe submit him. But I'm going to lean towards Oliveira. I just think he has more punching power and is a little bit more technical in the brawls. But like I said, I think this is the biggest coin flip fight on the card. I think these guys are just going to go at it the second it starts, and one guy's going to knock the other one out. But I'm just leaning towards Oliveira. Next is Kevin Holland versus Kyle Dawkins, and this fight's so weird because I feel like it's like a 50-50 fight in the sense that like Kyle Dawkins can if Kyle Dawkins is going to win this fight, it's going to be because he's able to continuously push Kevin Holland against the fence and take him down. If Kevin Holland's going to win this fight, it's because he's going to be able to stuff the takedowns and just light Kyle up on the feet. It's not like Kevin Holland doesn't have his own jiu-jitsu, but I think Dawkins is just the stronger wrestler. I just don't understand. You think they would have given Holland a little bit more of like a striker-centric guy, like maybe a Brad Tavares or something like that? I just think that it's either going to go one of two ways. Like I said, I think Dawkins is going to either turn into a grindy wrestling fight and win, or Holland's going to finish him. I'm leaning towards Holland finishing him. I do think he's just the better overall fighter at this point. Like I said, Dawkins' really only chance to win, in my opinion, is if he just continuously takes Holland down and grinds him out. I don't think he could, but I don't think it will happen. I think Holland will be able to keep it on the feet and just out kickbox him and eventually KO Kyle. So I'm gonna pick Holland to win by knockout. And finally, we got Thiago Santos versus Johnny Walker, and this is kind of like the Oliveira Price fight, where it's like I don't think either of these guys are gonna be super technical. I think that they're gonna go out there and just throw with each other. And I think it's just whoever's a little bit cleaner with their striking is going to win, and I think that's Santos. I think Santos is just the cleaner striker at this point, and Walker is more wild. He leaves more openings too. Like, he's not just wild, but he kind of like leaves himself unguarded. As where Santos, yeah, he's wild too, but it's more technical. And because of that, I think that it's just going to be crazy exchanges, and I think this fight's going to be a lot like the Jimmy Manuwa fight. I just think just like in that fight, Santos' conditioning and just more crisp striking won out, and I think that's gonna be the same thing. I think his more crisp striking and just better cardio is gonna edge out Walker, and I think Santos is gonna win by like round 1 or round 2 KO. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe.